Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and wow, another fantastic chapter from the Boruto manga. So, funny story, I actually had training today at work, so when the chapter released, I couldn't read it immediately, but as soon as training ended, I rushed out to my car and I read this chapter, and I about screamed in the middle of the empty parking lot where I work, because currently we're mostly working from home, but I'm just doing some training for a new position I took. But anyways, I literally screamed in my car in the middle of the empty parking lot, so good thing that there's no one else here. So anyways, fantastic chapter. We now know who exactly Kashin Koji is. It was kind of implied in the last chapter that he had something to do with Jiraiya for sure, and now we know for sure that he was indeed a clone of Jiraiya. And now Isshiki Isshiki has actually shown himself as well. So, 2 reveals in 1 chapter, and it was a fantastic one. Anyways, if you like this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe as I cover the Boruto manga on a monthly basis. And if this video does do pretty well, like maybe gets, 20, 30 plus likes, maybe I'll start doing some, mini videos regarding certain characters, what I think their role is going to be in the future. It's just something I'm throwing out there. Anyways, like the video, subscribe, and now I should get on to the review. So this chapter begins where last month's chapter left off, with Jigen essentially burning alive because Koji summoned real flames from far away. And there's really nothing Jigen can do. He does try to shrink the flames with his jutsu, but unfortunately he's practically expelled practically every bit of chakra he had remaining. He was at less than 10%. So the fact that he's done this well in the fight is, it says something about Isshiki's full power. But at this point, Jigen's body's reached its limits and he can't shrink the flames anymore, so they just combust, and yeah, he starts burning alive again. And it's actually kind of funny because at this point Naruto is like, wow, this is how you kill an Otsutsuki? That's a rather abrupt end. But Sasuke's over here is like, you dummy. Have you been even paying attention? If you did, you'd actually know that, Jigen still got the Karma Seal. And because Jigen has that Karma Seal, Isshiki will just resurrect, and he'll just keep resurrecting. Which, good on Sasuke. He's definitely been paying attention, and he's as smart and witty as ever. And Sasuke even points out, yeah, there's currently 2 vessels that Isshiki has, Jigen and Kawaki. So for all intents and purposes, if Jigen dies, Isshiki could just jump and resurrect himself right into Kawaki, but not right away. But he has a backup plan in Kawaki, which Amato, he acknowledges that, yeah, you basically set us up for this. So before anyone can say anything else, Kawaki just literally walks right in, and he tries to kill Amato with that Sage Mode arm, or that Jugal-like Sage Mode transformation he has on his arm. Tries to just straight up kill Amato. It's pretty clear that Amato was going to probably suggest that, since Kawaki is here, we might as well kill him off, and I don't think Kawaki was going to take that kindly, so that's probably why Kawaki tried to kill Amato in that moment, in a fit of rage. That like, hey, I'm not your plaything. I'm not going to sit here and let you try to kill me, pretty much. And just as Kawaki is literally about to strike Amato down, Sasuke's just right there. He whips out a sword and cuts off part of Kawaki's hand, puts him right in his place. It was a pretty cool moment. And Kawaki's not too happy, but Amato, also he wasn't too happy about that, but Kawaki's here for a reason. So we find out an interesting thing about the Karma Seal is that when the Otsutsuki dies, the transfer that for one's vessel, it begins. And it's something that the Otsutsuki can't control. And, at this point, Jigen's karma has had well enough time to be fully extracted, so at any time, Isshiki could just resurrect himself in Jigen's body. Obviously, he's a failed vessel, so it's not something that Isshiki wants to happen because he'll die immediately. But Kawaki, his karma hasn't processed far enough for Isshiki to just immediately resurrect himself in Kawaki's body. It'll take some time, kind of like with Boruto. It's going to take a long time before Momoshiki eventually takes over his body. But, so, Boruto's over here is like, yeah, what is your plan? Are you planning on killing Kawaki before that even happens? Amato's over here is like, well, that is an option. And yeah, Naruto doesn't really like that suggestion very much. Obviously, he doesn't want to kill Kawaki or his own son. But yeah, anyways, we go back to the battle with, or I guess battle. We go back to Jigen, who's burning up, and we're literally about to, witness Isshiki's resurrection. Now, even though Jigen is dying, or he's going to die, because he still has the karma seal, pretty much reincarnation is going to happen immediately. As we explained a minute ago, the process begins, whether the Otsutsuki likes it or not. And it's a good thing that Kawaki's here, because Amato wants to, or Amato, however you pronounce his name, he wants to witness what happens next. And immediately, Kawaki's arm starts throbbing, his karma seal starts going crazy, and it starts flaring up. And eventually, Kawaki passes out, and even Boruto's over here freaking out what's going on. But anyways, his karma seal flares up, and then Kawaki just drops down on the floor. He's completely out cold. And that's when they look at his palm. That's when they notice the karma seal is literally gone from Kawaki. He no longer bears the karma seal. So before they can say anything at this moment, they pan back over to the screen, and that's when they witness the resurrection of Isshiki Otsutsuki, who immediately, brings down the flames. And that's when we find out that, yeah, exactly, Naruto's over here like, hey, what the heck is going on? And it looks like the resurrection has completed, but he explains that all other karma seals that are planted on other vessels are immediately erased. Which kind of makes sense, because I was wondering how they were going to explain this, how two people could have a karma for one person, how they're going to be vessels, or how they're going to resurrect each other within one or another. I was wondering if they were going to explain it, and we get it here, because as soon as an Otsutsuki resurrects, the karma seals on anybody that the karma seal has been implanted on will immediately disappear. And it is at this time you can actually kill an immortal Otsutsuki for good. And that's when we get the panel of Isshiki Otsutsuki. We finally get to see his face, and my goodness, this panel was sick. I just had to say it like that, because Jigen is dead, and now we have Isshiki. I just had to try that out. But anyways, Isshiki is here, and we finally meet him after all this time. Now, the interesting thing here is that it looks like Isshiki, he either has a Byakugan or the Jogan. It's really hard to tell. I'm leaning on Byakugan right now. It looks like he has that in his left eye, but in his right eye, it looks like we have a completely different eye that we've never seen before, and it's likely, I'm thinking that maybe it's this eye that gives him the ability to shrink things. At least that's what I think, but then again, he didn't have the special eyes with Jigen, so I'm not really sure on that. But anyways, he's got the special eye, and immediately he just begins shrinking everything. Everything's, pulling off of the ground. All the pedestals and the place that they're in is literally shrinking like in an instant. Koji even notices that, like, it's just happening super fast. Like, it's actually kind of crazy how he's able to pull all this off. And because of this, it disrupts the frog that was televising what was going on to Naruto and the others. So unfortunately, Naruto and the others aren't able to see what is about to be revealed, unfortunately. But Naruto, he has a bit of a feeling. He's wondering why am I so concerned for this guy? It's actually kind of interesting. I know that Naruto has the ability to, sense emotion, so maybe he just recognizes that this is somebody that was close to him in the past. However, Amato reveals here that Kashin Koji essentially fulfilled his purpose. The plan, was to lure out Isshiki like this, and Koji filled that purpose, but it sounds like he's pretty much being led to his death, unfortunately. Like, it's literally as Naruto puts it, that this mission is pretty much a one-way ticket to the afterlife. And yeah, it looks like that's the case, unfortunately. Because Isshiki, he's basically shrinking literally everything around. To the point where, yeah, he's trying to destroy the entire space, including Koji within it. And even Isshiki, he makes this weird gesture in which he says all people have a predestined fate, all genes. And he talks about, that man. That man bore a mighty fate and a star of change, which is interesting. And that's when Koji's mask falls off. But again, Naruto, he's wondering why he's so concerned for this guy. But the whole thing is here, what's going on is basically everything's shrinking all around. Isshiki, his ability, he can shrink himself and any type of, objects, but he can't shrink other people. So I'm thinking this is just my guess, I think he's trying to shrink this entire area so he can just destroy it, so he can basically shrink the area so it crushes Koji, which will immediately kill him, but I'm wondering if it's going to end up killing Delta as well. Not really sure on that front, but as I said, everything's going on and Koji's mask falls up, and that's when he said, you know, Isshiki comes to realization. He's just like, now I understand. Amado, he had wanted to cling to it, to that man's mighty fate, to the minuscule possibility of change. That Kashin Koji, he's the clone of Jiraiya of the Great Three. So again, I thought this was a great chapter, but there are a few questions I do have, because I swear every time the Boruto manga answers a question, they create more questions for us as a community. Now, the big thing for me is like how the heck did Amado, how did he get Jiraiya's DNA to clone him? Like, what did he do? Did he do a lot of research? Did he find him? Does he know him somehow? There's got to be a connection there that we don't know about, that they're not telling us at the moment. Because as of right now, I'm really not sure how I feel about it. I don't know if I buy Amado going all the way down to the bottom of that lake and getting Jiraiya's DNA that way. That seems a little far-fetched. Or did he do this a long time ago? There's just a lot of questions that really need to be asked there. And I'm hoping they address that maybe in the next chapter or two. Now, I get what Amado and Koji were doing here. They were killing Jigen off so that Isshiki could resurrect in his body, or resurrect in the vessel. And as a result, Isshiki now, he's nerfed. He basically has a couple days to live in order to get his karma seal back to Kawaki. So, and now I don't even think he can track him now. So I'm guessing Ishiki's gonna have to come to Konoha to try and get Kawaki somehow, or he's gonna have to go to Code and do something with him, because Code, I feel like he's out there for a reason. He's gonna be operating in the shadows or doing something. I feel like Code is gonna be very important in the very near future as a result of what's going on. But yeah, I see what they tried to do, but considering what happens in chapter 1, Kawaki gets the karma seal back, so I'm very curious to see how that's going to happen, because apparently trying to kill an Otsutsuki member here is going to backfire. That being said, now that they have this information, if anyone else tries to attack the ninja world, or any more Otsutsukis appear, they know exactly how to kill an Otsutsuki this way. But anyways, that's all I got for this chapter review. Another solid chapter. I'd probably give it maybe a 9 or 9.5 out of 10. Solid writing for the most part. I'm just curious to see what's going to be happening in the next couple of chapters with Isshiki now that he's got a very limited amount of time to get himself to Kawaki to get his karma seal over to him. Not really sure how that's going to be handled, but I'm very interested to see what happens, and also with Code as well. So anyways, guys, what do you think of this chapter review, or this chapter? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe out there, everyone.